Donald Trump is really under attack by the political establishment and the media establishment over foreign policy. It's almost like a perfect storm. You had the uproar over the weekend over the CIA leak. Findings leaked to the Washington Post saying that Russian hackers deliberately tried to push the election to Donald Trump away from Hillary Clinton. Trump being dismissive of those findings, calling them ridiculous and an excuse in the interview with Fox's Chris Wallace. And then there was that statement that was put out about, well, these are the same people who brought you Saddam's WMD. Long time ago, different management. Now, I think Trump may have gone a little too far in terms of potentially alienating the intelligence community. But at the same time, for all of the media huffing and puffing here about we need investigations and why aren't more Republicans calling for investigations, the findings are ambiguous, as is often the case in this sort of murky world of spycraft. The FBI doesn't agree. I mean, clearly there was hacking. It is probably tied to Russia. Was there also hacking of the RNC, and were those Republican emails held back? The New York Times acknowledging yesterday that this is largely circumstantial evidence, but the press adding this to a portrait of an incoming president who only wants the daily intelligence briefings once a week and all of that. Then you come to Rex Tillerson, the Exxon Mobil CEO, who is expected, according to press reports and leaks, to be the next Secretary of State. Whether he is or not, we'll have to see. He, of course, has a relationship with Vladimir Putin that dates back 2 decades, so it is seen as part of a Trumpian tilt toward Russia. That has the foreign policy establishment really up in arms as well. And then John Bolton, Fox News contributor, former U.S. ambassador to the United Nations, reported, rumored, speculated about as a possible number 2 at state, Deputy Secretary of State, when he went on the air here at Fox and talked about how the whole CIA Russian hacker story might have been a false flag operation, meaning maybe that the Obama administration had something to do with this. That got a lot of people up in arms. Bolton supported the invasion of Iraq and takes a hawkish approach to foreign policy, and that is not sitting well with some of his critics. And then you even have KT McFarland, who had served in the Reagan administration on defense policy. She has been tapped as the deputy White House National Security Advisor. Politico has a whole piece, and by the way, she's fair game for criticism now that she's back in the political arena. Politico has a whole piece saying, well, you know, she is not that well versed, and she doesn't have the experience, and even suggesting that she's too old. She's 65. This is such a demanding job. We have a 70-year-old president-elect of the United States. The striking thing about that piece is none of the critics were on the record. It was all anonymous sources and so forth. Few people on the record defending KT McFarland. Nobody on the record saying what the insinuation of the piece is that she's not up to the job. So it seems to me that we have now, it's kind of exploded. You know, there were a lot of skirmishes over HHS and some of the White House appointments, Education Department, Ben Carson and HUD and all that. But nothing has matched the intensity over what really has become a shooting war, rhetorically speaking, over Donald Trump's foreign policy. And we'll have to see. You know, I always take the position as he hasn't taken office yet. Let's see who he appoints. Let's see how they do. But man, the shots are being fired.